An aquarium can be a great addition to your home or apartment, as well as a good first pet. So in this video, I'm going to go over 10 basic principles of setting up an aquarium. Hey, what's up? It's Ty here, and welcome to Aquariums with Ty. And if you're new here on this channel, I do a lot of tips and review videos just like this one, so consider subscribing. Also, at any point in the video, check out the notes and links in the description below. I'll be posting anything I forgot to say in this video, as well as links to what I use on my aquariums. Let's get into the video. So the first thing we're going to talk about is a fish tank. More specifically, we're going to talk about tank size. Now, when you're first starting up an aquarium, having a smaller tank can be easier to maintain, so you might not want to go all out at first just to see if you can actually take care of fish. So I recommend getting a 10, a 20, or 29 gallon. Also, if you think you'll be more interested, then go for a 40 gallon breeder. It hits the sweet spot to where you might not outgrow it as fast as you would outgrow the other sizes. Also, a 40 gallon breeder is a size where it's not too big, it's not too small, and it'll give you more options when picking out fish and aquascaping. Also, 40 gallon breeders are not that hard to maintain, whereas when you start getting above that, it starts to take more time to maintain it. Alright, so the next thing we're going to talk about is water parameters. Now, water parameters is a lot of things. First, you're going to want to condition your water, and you do this by buying a water conditioner, and it takes the chlorine and chloramine out of your tap water, making it safe to put fish in. If you're on a well, you don't have to buy a water conditioner. The next thing you're going to want to do is test your water, and you're going to want to test things like pH, because pH, for example, is how high or low the alkalinity is in your aquarium. The higher the pH, different fish have different needs when it comes to pH. For example, guppies and African cichlids, they like very high pH, whereas angelfish might want more of a neutral pH. And then there's lots of different tetras that like low pH, more acidic water. So because every area can differ when it comes to pH, for example, mine is a very high pH in where I live, you want to test your water or call your water treatment facility and have them tell you what the pH levels are in the water. You can also call the water treatment facility to see if you have chlorine or chloramine in your water. So for new people who are just starting keeping fish, I suggest buying fish that are more comfortable in the water parameters that your city provides. So if you have hard water, I suggest starting out with a guppy maybe, because they thrive in harder water. So there's ways to change your water parameters, and you can do that with buffers. Different substrates change your water parameters, also rocks and driftwood as well. Number 3, we're going to talk about substrate. So what is substrate? Substrate is basically what you put in the bottom of your aquarium, like gravel, sand, or aquatic soil for a planted aquarium. Each substrate is used for something different. For example, crushed coral can be used to raise the pH of your aquarium. Say you have more acidic neutral water and you need to raise it, you just put crushed coral in. Whereas there's like aquatic soil, which is like used for planted aquariums, and because they're so nutrient packed with like fertilizers and things, they actually lower the pH in your aquarium. Also, you can go with a bare bottom aquarium, and a bare bottom aquarium is useful as well because it's very easy to clean up all the fish waste and uneaten food that settles at the bottom. Alright, number 4, we're going to talk about cycling your aquarium. So cycling is pretty simple. It's basically letting beneficial bacteria grow in your aquarium. So you might be saying, why do I want bacteria in my aquarium? Well, the reason is because the bacteria breaks down ammonia and nitrate and into nitrite, which is produced from fish waste. Alright, let's talk about filtration. Now, filtration is one of my favorite topics in the aquarium hobby. So a filter is basically a place that grows beneficial bacteria in your aquarium. It's a place that provides a high amount of surface area for water to pass through. So when you're looking at your filter, you'll see that there might be things like biological media, which are like ceramic rings or bioballs, or maybe some weird looking plastic shaped things. That is what bacteria is going to grow on. It provides more surface area to your aquarium, but in a small spot that is out of the way. Bacteria can also grow on like substrates such as sand and rocks and any aquarium decorations that you have. Filters create flow in your aquarium, and they'll intake things like particles, and then they intake the water. And there's typically 3 stages in an aquarium filter. There's a pre-filter, which is typically a very porous sponge, or it could be things like a microfiber such as polyfill. Also, aquarium socks is a popular one too, or filter socks, whatever you call them. So the second stage of an aquarium filter is the biological filtration, and that's, like I said, the place that provides the surface area for the bacteria. So the pre-filter is basically there to keep your biological filtration clean. The third stage of your filter is the chemical filtration, which is in the form of carbon. Now carbon, it takes out the trace elements in the water, but I don't recommend using carbon in a planted aquarium, because if you're fertilizing your plants, it's going to remove your fertilizer from your aquarium. So plants also use those trace elements in your aquarium as nutrients. Alright, number 6 is heat. So heat for your aquarium. If you're keeping tropical fish, you're going to have a heater. And typically it's going to be around 78 degrees what you want to put it at. But do research on what your fish actually needs and go off of that. So there are some fish out there that you don't need a heater, which if you're keeping those, you should be okay. Also, it kind of depends on the area that you live in. If you live in a really hot area, you might actually have to cool your aquarium. Whereas if you live in a really cold area, you're definitely going to need a heater. I recommend getting a heater that's rated higher than what your aquarium needs, because the bigger the heater, it won't work as hard, and it'll last a lot longer and save you energy. Alright, so the next thing we're talking about is light. So basically the light you're going to buy is going to be based off the needs of your aquarium. So if you're just having, say, an African cichlid tank that doesn't need a plant light, then you can buy just a basic LED light for viewing that isn't necessarily rated for growing plants. But say you want to get into plants and have live plants in your tank, then you're going to have to do your research on what kind of plant light to buy. Alright, let's talk about fish. Fish is number 8. When you're picking out fish is going to affect everything else that we already talked about pretty much. It's going to affect the water parameters that you set. It's going to affect the size of your aquarium. It's going to affect the substrate. Some fish don't like rocky substrates and some like sand substrates. It's also going to affect what temperature you keep your aquarium at. So before you go buy all that stuff, when you get some ideas of what kind of fish you want to buy, I would recommend researching the fish first. You would be surprised, it might actually save you some money. Also, another thing to go along with fish is fish have different dietary needs. Some fish are purely herbivores and some are purely carnivores and some are omnivores. So that's going to affect what fish food you buy. Make sure you're providing the best environment you can for your fish, and do your research before you buy your fish. Alright, so number 9 is research. Make sure that you research your fish. I'm very passionate about fish and keeping aquariums, so I always want to provide them the best environment that I possibly can. And if you either impulse buy or buy the wrong setup for your fish, then the fish is going to suffer and possibly die. And we don't want that to happen at all. And if you don't know where to go to research, come to my channel, Aquariums with Ty. That's what my passion is helping people have better aquariums, helping people upgrade their aquariums, help people take care of their fish. So even if I don't have a video, comment below on any question that you want, even if I don't have a video for it, because you might inspire me to make that video. Last thing we're going to talk about is myths. what are some common myths that people hear when getting into aquariums? And well, I think the number one that I have ever heard is fish grow to the size of their aquarium, and this is not true. So if you put a goldfish in a fish bowl, it doesn't mean they're not. That doesn't mean they'll only stay small. Basically, what you're doing is you're slowly killing that fish because you're stunting their growth, and you're messing up the internal organs and bone structure that they would be growing in a normal, healthy environment. Another myth is, do you need to have air in your aquarium? Like, do you need to have bubbles flowing out of your aquarium? And that's no. All you really need for oxygen in your aquarium is surface agitation. The bubbles in your aquarium don't actually provide oxygen. It's when they burst at the surface that they're providing surface agitation, which creates the gas exchange at the top of the aquarium in the atmosphere. And the last myth that I could think of was, will cycled water in your aquarium instantly cycle a new aquarium? And that's no, because bacteria does not grow within the water. It grows on surfaces in your aquarium. So if you have a friend who has an aquarium and say they have some cycled filtration media as well, or a cycled sponge that's in their aquarium, have them drop that in your aquarium or in your filter, and that will jumpstart your cycle. Anyways, everyone, thanks for coming to my channel and watching this video. I hope this helps you with your first aquarium. And until next time, guys, Aquariums with Ty, bringing you the best tips and reviews for you to try on your aquariums. See you next time.